Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos. So currently transfer rumours here to currently give you an update on, as I do every single currently day. Lots to talk about in this video today, but the first topic of development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Lijt's delay. So I'm going to give you a bit of more additional information of what's going on with him. So we do know he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, of course. Now, according to the media, that Rio Ferdinand has put a current post on Instagram, with Manchester United, lifting the Champions League, from 2008, of course, when we won in Moscow against Chelsea. And reportedly, De Ligt has currently liked this Instagram post, that currently Rio Ferdinand has put on. So now some Manchester United fans are convinced that he does want to make the move to Old Trafford. So at least in the last couple of days, of course, he did say that we have reportedly improved our offer, for currently De Ligt. And reportedly now we've offered him around 13 or 14 million a year, and that does equate to around 240 or £245,000 a week. Well, it's something like that anyway. And reportedly Barcelona are not currently willing to meet this figure, but it's being obviously confirmed that De Ligt and his agent Raiola are demanding more money, and I think his agent Raiola wants Barcelona to currently increase their offer. But at the moment, I don't think Barcelona are willing to currently do this. But obviously, the teams that I've inquired about is De Ligt's services. Obviously, my club Manchester United. Obviously Manchester City have also inquired about his services, because obviously City are looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany. As I said, Liverpool have also inquired about his services. Barcelona. So there's a lot of teams in there for De Ligt. Obviously, we do know that Barcelona have been a monster the favourites, to currently get the pursuit of the player. Barcelona have been a monster, the current favourites, and I think the main reason why currently De Ligt wants to make the move to Barcelona, because he did make this admission, because obviously his current teammate Frankie de Jong is going there, and I think he wants to reunite with Frankie de Jong, because obviously Barcelona agreed a fee of around £75 million with Ajax for Frankie de Jong. So I still believe that he wants to make the move to Barcelona. There's De Ligt, but I really like De Ligt a lot. He's only 19 years of age. He's got a hell of a lot of development in him. So far, he has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax as De Ligt. Obviously, as I said, I think he's been playing for Ajax, since the age of 8, the age of 9, and he has flourished fantastically well. And he has had 3 years now worth of experience. He's 3 years worth of experience now in Ajax's senior squad, as De Ligt. But yeah, De Ligt's the only defender, of course, to win the Golden Boy award. He's also very, very tall as well, which is very, very beneficial. But obviously, as we all do know, that Manchester United need a central defender. We need someone that can basically go alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline. I think we need probably 2 central defenders, but I do believe that De Ligt would be the right solution. As I said, got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him, and I do believe if he came to the Premier League, he would take his career to the next level, and I do believe he'd exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. But he can leave Ajax with his head held up high, can De Ligt. Obviously, Ajax winning the domestic double, this season for the first time in 17 years, including the Eredivisie title for the first time in 5 years, and of course, progressing to the Champions League semi-final. Of course, De Ligt had also scored in that game. But as I said, De Ligt has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, and so I think it's very, very likely that he's going to be leaving Ajax as De Ligt. And I actually think the main reason why Liverpool were interested in De Ligt, because obviously De Ligt and Virgil van Dijk know each other really, really well, because obviously they're both Dutch. They both play in the Netherlands national team. But I think it is now believed that Liverpool have currently opted out of the race, for De Ligt. But yeah, still Man United and Barcelona are in there, of course, fighting it out for them. But going back a couple of weeks ago, Edwin van der Sar had currently come out, and he basically confirmed, that De Ligt's going to be leaving Ajax, and he did say he was convinced he'll have a move to England or Spain. This is what basically Edwin van der Sar has said, but he's not going to cost cheap. I think he's initially rated at around £65 million is De Ligt. So now reportedly he's like to post what Rio Ferdinand has put on. So is that any kind of sign that he does want to make the move to Manchester United? Is this his preferred destination, of course? Because I think he'd be a fantastic in the Premier League, but De Ligt, as I said, 19 years of age, got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. But as you all know, Solskjaer, he's worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. He wants to recommend a number of young players to come in, that can grow, develop and emulate in superstars. So he's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. But you can see the deficiencies in the squad. He can, identify the areas where Manchester United are lacking. And obviously, we've got to resolve these problems this summer. But as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was saying, he has had quite a few meetings, about discussing discussing about our recruitment for this summer. So he did say he's had quite a few meetings. We do know it's going to be hard for us to attract players to the highest level because obviously we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still believes we can get the players that we want, even though we're not in a Champions League football. And don't get me wrong, we've got the financial power, to get the players that we do currently want, of course. But a lot of players, that are really, really good, want to be in Champions League football, and of course, and want to go to a team that's competitive. And obviously, we're not competitive at the moment. We're a toxic club at the moment. I do believe at least 3 or 4 years off, from like mounting any kind of title challenge up. And I do believe at least in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is going to be fighting for that top 4, as you all know. But obviously, the likes of City, Liverpool, and probably Arsenal are going to invest this summer. So it's very, very essential indeed that we do get the right players this summer. But without a shadow of a doubt, guys, I think, De Ligt would be the right solution for Manchester United. So obviously, I don't know if he's coming to Manchester United or not. Nothing has been agreed as yet. For my knowledge, all I know is at the moment, Manchester United have come up with an improved offer, as I've notified you guys on, and that's really about it. And so we do know, about, reports and stuff like that. A lot of it is to, to justify the existence, narratives and stuff that they put out about, transfers or whatever. So a lot of it is to justify their existence, and a lot of it is not true, to be quite honest with you, but we always come on the here, to tell you what's being currently said, of course. So with the Ligt rumours, so reportedly he's like to post of what, Rio Ferdinand has currently put on, but obviously that doesn't mean he wants to come to Manchester United. Let's just put it in that perspective. So, as you all currently know, as reports were coming out yesterday in regards to Antoine Greizeman, and I think, these rumours are pretty similar, to the Ligt rumours, if I'm going to be quite honest. I think they're probably justifying their existence again, are the media on this story. It did say reportedly now that Manchester United have made contact with Antoine Greizeman, over a potential move. Because allegedly now, according to reports, reportedly Barcelona are stalling on their move for Antoine Greizeman. And as we all do know, Greizeman had made an admission last week. He came out last week and made an admission that he's going to be leaving Atletico Madrid. And obviously, Atletico Madrid have accepted that. We don't know where his next club is currently going to be. But obviously, Barcelona have been the monster, the favourites to get him. Because I think, Greizeman was intending on making the move to Barcelona. Barcelona willing to pay his 104 or 105 million release clause. Obviously, Griezmann's release clause at this moment is obviously around 170 odd million pounds. But I think in July his release clause does reduce by around 60 odd million pounds. So it will be in July his release clause of around 104 or 105 million pounds. So potentially, I don't think Griezmann, will be coming to Manchester United anywhere. Obviously, it's going to cost you over 100 odd million pounds. With Griezmann, he's 28 years of age. Obviously, he has spent the entirety of his career in Spain so far. Obviously, he's been at Atletico Madrid 5 years. I think he's made about 257 appearances, scored 133 goals in all competitions as Antoine Greizeman. Scored 133 goals in 257 appearances in all competitions as Antoine Greizeman for Atletico Madrid. Obviously, he was destined to join Barcelona last summer. And he was on the verge of joining Barcelona last summer, but obviously he signed a new long-term contract, so he's on the contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023. And I still believe that he probably will be making the move to Barcelona. Greizeman, so I do believe next season he will continue playing his trade in Spain. It did report the other week that a few teams were in for him, but I don't think now City are interested in him. I don't think the likes of PSG are interested in Antoine Greizeman. But obviously, going back a couple of years ago, as you all know, Manchester United were on the verge of getting Antoine Greizeman. So we're on the verge of getting a deal over the line for him. But obviously, due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban, the current deal never materialised. And obviously, at that time, we had number 7 vacant. Looking for someone to fulfil that number 7 role. And obviously, we identified Greizeman as the right solution. It was looking like it was going to happen, but as soon as that transfer ban came up, obviously, we never got a deal over the line for Greizeman. So yeah, I just think it's the media on this story, justifying the existence, mainly. But I do think he'll still end up, going to Barcelona, because it is now saying that Barcelona are having second thoughts on this. Obviously, if they were to get this deal over the line for Greizeman, obviously it would be their £100 million plus third signing in 3 seasons, of course, because obviously they got Ousmane Dembele for around I can't remember how much it was it 105 or 106 million or something like that. Obviously, they paid £142 million for Philippe Coutinho. So I don't see, Griezmann, coming out to Manchester United. Of course, he has still got quite a bit of development in him, Griezmann. He's 28 years of age, of course, and But I don't see, coming to Manchester United from my perspective. But I wouldn't want us, to probably, spend £100 million on Greizeman. I'd rather you spend that £100 million on the likes of Benfica's Joe Felix, because Joe Felix, has got a hell of a lot more development in him as Joe Felix. Obviously, he's about 9 or 10 years younger than Anton Greizeman. Obviously, Greizeman's obviously a lot more experienced, obviously more of a goal scorer and all that. But talking about Joe Felix, I think he can emulate into, he can emulate to that next level, and I think he can emulate into one of the best players in the world, Joe Felix. I don't think he can emulate into like Ronaldo and Messi, or the Ronaldo and Messi or the Neymar and all that, Joe Felix. But I still believe he can become one of the best, and he has been on Manchester United's agenda now for a very long time as Joe Felix. Man United have been scouting him on a regular basis. Quite a few other teams have attracted their interest in Joe Felix. Obviously, this has only been his first season in the senior squad with Benfica, as he hasn't yet made his senior debut for Portugal, Joe Felix. But I do really like him, 19 years of age, the upcoming future, of course, and still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. But I do believe if he came to the Premier League, he'd succeed, he'd exceed expectations, of course. He's primarily an attacking midfielder. Can also play as a winner, can also play as a striker, so he's very, very versatile, is Joe Felix. But he has been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time now. But he's got immense talent. He'd bring us them goals we need. He'd provide us them assists that we do currently need. So I think he'd blend in very, very well in our attacking line. But he's primarily an attacking midfielder, so we'll probably use him as an attacking midfielder. Joe Felix. I think recent reports have suggested out that he feels happy, with Benfica as Joe Felix. But I do believe if he came to the Premier League, he would take his career to the next level. He did say Man United were prepared to, pay his £100 million buyout clause that he's got him in his deal with Benfica. So I do really like him. So I'd love him to come to Manchester United. As he updated you yesterday as well in regards about Lyon's Moussa Dembele, talking about Lyon's Moussa Dembele now, I think that he's been subjected to quite a bit of transfer speculation, this Moussa Dembele. Going back, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago, it said that Manchester United had expressed their interest in Moussa Dembele, have inquired about his services. Quite a few times in the media, it has said that we have actually, we have submitted a few bids in for him. It came out yesterday saying that Man United reportedly submitted a bid for Moussa Dembele of around, £40 million. Don't really know much about him. I know he's very, very young. He's Moussa Dembele. He's only 22 years of age, so he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. He has demonstrated this season, with Lyon, that he can score goals, he can lead the lines. This has only been his first season in France with Lyon, because obviously, Lyon got him last summer from Celtic for around, was it £20 million? Obviously, when he was younger, he played for Fulham, where he actually began his senior career with Fulham, and that's when he was really, really good, when he was at Fulham. But I think he did have 2 good years, with Celtic. I think he scored like 50 odd goals in 90 odd appearances. When he was at Fulham, I think he scored like 19 goals in 64 competitive matches. So this Moussa Dembele, can currently score goals. He has got a contract with Lyon until 2023. So Manchester United have inquired about his services. I think Arsenal have obviously, in the past, inquired about, Moussa Dembele's services. So obviously, would identify him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Now, obviously, that Lukaku, again, he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation as Romelu Lukaku. Now, reportedly, as I did update you yesterday, Inter Milan have reportedly agreed personal terms with Lukaku. This was according to the Metro. They agreed personal terms with Lukaku. They've also reportedly agreed to pay his £175,000 a week wages off, reportedly. Reportedly. But I don't think a fee has obviously yet come to any kind of agreement, because reportedly the quoted fee is around £70 million. And this is what reportedly, Manchester United want for Lukaku. But reportedly, Inter Milan rate him at around £50 million. Obviously, Conte has identified Lukaku as his number 1 target. Obviously, Inter Milan have got Conte coming in as their new manager, of course, to replace Luca Spelter. But we do know, as I said, Lukaku has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, Lukaku's agent had revealed a while back that his future is very, very open. Lukaku himself, said he admits of his dream of playing in the Serie A. So I think he's intending on going to the Serie A as Romelu Lukaku. But like I said, it will be very, very beneficial, if we can cash in for Lukaku, cash in for Paul Pogba, Cash in for De Gea, that's going to help us with our transition, and it will help us with our rebuilding process. As you all know, we're getting £250 million to spend this summer, but obviously it'll go way up, if we cash in for the likes of De Gea, Pogba and Lukaku. It'll take our spending speed to probably around 500 million, maybe even more than 500 million. But in regards to Lukaku, I think we are trying to recoup the initial, £75 million, that we did pay for him from Everton, a couple of seasons ago. Well, it was £75 million. There were add-ons included in the deal of around £15 million, so that had risen it to £90 million. And Lukaku, of course, has still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United. And and I think, as I did say, I've got strong reservations about him when it comes to his first touch, his link-up play, his footballing ability, his finishing, everything else. It just really, really concerns me. Don't get me wrong, his ratio is very, very good in the Premier League. Lukaku's pedigree, he's got a great pedigree in the Premier League as Lukaku, and he did well in his first season with Manchester United. He scored 27 goals in all competitions for Manchester United, but he's failed to replicate that this season. And obviously we know that Rashford has been first choice ahead of him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has blatantly told Romelu Lukaku, that he is a surplus to requirements. But yeah, I think Inter Milan are going to get a deal over the line for him. It depends if they're willing to pay the £70 million. But there is talk saying that Lukaku could leave as part of a swap deal, because obviously as it came out a couple of days ago saying that Inter Milan were willing to offer £30 million plus Ivan Perisic, to currently land Lukaku. So it was a players plus cash deal. They were willing to offer 30 million plus Perisic, to try and get Lukaku. But obviously Manchester United are not going to go along with that. Obviously we do know back in the Jose Mourinho era though that Ivan Perisic was a long-term target, for Manchester United. He was on our agenda, for a long, long time. But obviously, I think we had a couple of bids turned down at the time under Jose Mourinho for Perisic. I think Inter Milan were demanding that they wanted around £48 million, of course, but Man United were not willing to pay £48 million. And this is the main factor reason why we didn't get a deal over the line for Perisic. As I said, I like Perisic, don't get me wrong, but he's aging up now, of course. I wouldn't say he's Galactico, I wouldn't say he's a world-class player, Ivan Perisic, but he has done well in his, number of years with Inter Milan as Perisic, but it did say they were willing to offload him to try and get a deal over the line for Lukaku plus £30 million. But of course Manchester United are not willing to go along with this. So yeah, I do believe that Lukaku is going to be leaving. As I did say, Manchester United have got a history of spending big on players, as you all know, especially in the last couple of seasons. Lukaku 75 million. These are prime examples. Paul Pogba 89 million, and obviously we've got a history of spending big on players, but it doesn't always get you in that position where you do want to be, and that's just currently proven that. So I think Lukaku is on his way out. So obviously, we would identify, Moussa Dembele as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. As you all do know, there has been talks with, Juventus' Paulo Dybala. According to reports, Manchester United have been in talks with Juventus now for more than a month, over the potential move for Dybala. Like I said, I've got reservations about Paulo Dybala. Some of his touches concern me, some of his defensive abilities, concern me, Paulo Dybala's. But he can score goals, and if he wants to come to Manchester United and score goals whilst he was adapting other areas of his game, that would be potentially good enough. He's 25 years of age, I think, so he has still got a lot of development in him. Obviously hasn't had any experience of playing in the Premier League as yet. Obviously enjoyed a very, very difficult time this season as Dybala. Since the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, Dybala has been in and out of the Juventus squad. So he hasn't really had the chance. I have seen glimpses of his best form in this 4-year period with Juventus. Obviously, he's won 4 Serie A's during his time with Juventus so far, and 3 Coppa Italians as Paulo Dybala. So it came out the other week saying that Man United were in talks with Juventus over the central move for Dybala. The quoted fee was around, £85 million. But I would have strong concerns, if Dybala, was to come to Manchester United. But obviously, would see him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Now, obviously, we do know that we need new additions in that midfield, of course, and give you a bit of an update on that. And so we need new additions in that midfield. I do believe we need 3, probably need 3 new additions in that midfield. I definitely think one of the priority areas where Manchester United are lacking is that centre defensive midfield area, and we need a CDM because, Fellaini left in January. Obviously, Nemanja Matic isn't reliable enough. He's too inconsistent. He's aging up. He's Nemanja Matic, and I know we paid £40 million for him. He's Premier League proven, of course. But too slow is Nemanja Matic, and I think we need a CDM that's faster and tenacious. And there's quite a lot of defensive midfielders on our agenda, as you all know, obviously. the last couple of days, there has been a lot of talks about Everton's Idrissa Gueye going on, but Idrissa Gueye, you can't argue with his stats. His stats are very, very impressive. Obviously, he's one of the most successful tacklers in the Premier League. I think he's completed the most tackles across Europe as Idrissa Gueye. I think initially, Everton don't want to sell Idrissa Gueye, but I think the quoted fee is around £35 million. They would demand, if they haven't got any choice, of selling him or not, they want around £35 million. So initially, Everton are demanding 5 times more than what they initially paid for him back in 2016. From Aston Villa. Idrissa Gueye obviously has got quite a lot of years now of experience, under his belt in the Premier League, of course. But he is primarily a defensive midfielder. He's 29 years of age, and comparing him and Ander Herrera, as I said, you can say Ander Herrera's had better career, but obviously Idrissa Gueye and Ander Herrera, of course, are the same age. I'm annoyed that we've let Ander Herrera go on a free transfer, but obviously he didn't stay Ander Herrera because obviously, we wasn't willing to meet his wage demands. But Idrissa Gueye, as I said, the majority of his appearances, have come at Everton. I think about 99 of his appearances have come with Everton. Out of 134 appearances he has made, 99 of them have come at Everton. When he did have that season with Aston Villa, I think he made about 35 appearances, did Idrissa Gueye. But he has done really, really well for Everton. Everton did everything, to keep Idrissa Gueye out of PSG's clutches, back in the January transfer window, because obviously, PSG were linked to him, back in January. Obviously, I think, PSG inquired about his services. PSG, I think, had 2 bids turned down for him, because I think Everton said they wanted around £40 million for him, back in the January transfer window, and PSG were reluctant to currently meet this. But Idrissa Gueye has still got 3 years left on his contract with Everton. I think we've been, linked to him for quite a while now, but, the rumours have started to come out again about it. But yeah, he's got 3 years left on his contract. I think he actually renewed his contract in February of last year. So he's on the contract with Everton until 2022 as Idrissa Gueye. So do you believe he'd be the right solution for Manchester United? Of course, he's energetic. He can press opponents as well. And looks a pretty decent player, of course. But he's 29. We still get quite a few years out of him. Idrissa Gueye, but he's 29 at the moment. So he was also spoken about. Obviously, we know West Ham's Declan Rice. He's also, being mentioned. Declan Rice from West Ham again, well Premier League proven, only very, very young. Obviously, got a hell of a lot of development in him. As I said, well Premier League proven. Literally learned his trade in the Premier League, and he has become an integral part of West Ham's squad. Of course, Declan Rice primarily plays as a defensive midfielder, can play as a centre back, but primarily a defensive midfielder. Man United, of course, have inquired about also his services, and obviously, he's mainly defensive midfielder. Obviously, as it came out in the press the other week as well, about what's his name? Is it James? If I can remember rightly, is it James Partey or something? Thomas Partey, should I say? I think it's Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid. Obviously, 25 years of age. I think he's primarily, again, a central defensive midfielder. He said Man United and Arsenal have inquired about his services. I don't really know much about Thomas Partey, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Available for a reasonable figure. I think his initial release clause is around £43 million in his contract with Atletico Madrid. So there has also, been talks about him going on. Like I said, spent the majority of his career with Atletico Madrid, Thomas Partey. So I have been hearing rumours about him, also, going on. But 25, so obviously, got a lot of development in him. But I don't really know much about this player. So there's a lot of defensive midfielders on Manchester United's agenda. Obviously, talking about Tanguy Ndombele, I still think there's a possible chance of Tanguy Ndombele, but I don't see it happening. Obviously, Tanguy Ndombele is primarily a central midfielder. He's primarily a central midfielder, is Tanguy Ndombele. But I think he did say the other week that Tottenham are the leading contenders, to get a deal over the line for Tanguy Ndombele. It's also said PSG have been interested. Also, Juventus have been interested in Tanguy Ndombele. I think, Man United are not willing to make any kind of approach or offer for him until we clarify Paul Pogba's, situation. Until we've sorted Paul Pogba's future out, I don't think we're willing to make a move for Tanguy Ndombele. And this was coming out of the media the other week. Tanguy Ndombele is very, very young, as you all know. He's 22 years of age. He's a very, very good competitive midfielder, of course. So again, I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. I think initially valued at around 87 or 88 million pounds. Obviously, and we do know he's not going to come cheap, Tanguy Ndombele. So yeah, a lot of midfielders Manchester United's agenda. Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. I'd also love Bruno Fernandes. I think he's very, very good. He'd been us them goals that we needed. Had depth in that midfield, of course, and I think he's got all the attributes to succeed in the Premier League, he'd meet expectation levels there in the Premier League. 24, still got a hell of a lot of development minimum as Bruno Fernandes. You do know United and City have been finding out for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, going back a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of talks about, Youri Tielemans from Leicester. Obviously, Manchester United have expressed their interest in Youri Tielemans. Arsenal have been linked to him before. Tottenham have also, been in there for him. Obviously, he's got 6 months of experience in the Premier League, under his belt, because obviously he's on loan now with Leicester. Leicester got him on loan from Monaco in January, and I think he's done really, really well, to be quite honest with you. Again, I think he's primarily a central midfielder, Youri Tielemans, if I'm right. Only 22 years of age. But I think from Leicester's perspective and Brendan Rodgers, they want to get Youri Tielemans on a permanent basis. I think Leicester have been in negotiations with Monaco about this, to get him permanently. And I think Monaco would want around £40 million, because I think this is what Monaco rate Youri Tielemans at. So he's also being on Manchester United's agenda. I think Man United have held negotiations with Youri Tielemans and his agent over the potential move to Old Trafford. So he's also been mentioned. So a lot of midfielders on our agenda, of course. Need a replacement for Herrera. Obviously need a replacement for Pogba if he goes. I still believe probably Paul Pogba's going, unless Greizeman wants to come in, and maybe that could, as I said, convince Paul Pogba to stay at the club. Because obviously, Paul Pogba and Greizeman have obviously got a great relationship together, because obviously, they're both they're both French, and they both play for France, of course. And as I did say, we need a right back. We need a replacement for Antonio Valencia. We need an upgrade to Ashley Young, and we need a cover up for Diego Dalot. So we definitely need a right back. We've showed an interest in quite a few right backs, of course. Definitely as well, we need 2 central defenders, like I said at the beginning of the video, 2 central defenders, because I think the likes of Smalling and Jones are potentially not good enough. It's a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving Smalling and Jones a new long-term contract, of course. But they'll still be there next season. Rojo and Darmian are going to be going, which is very, very good news. We can get around £30 million, for Rojo and Darmian, which is very, very good news. But there has been another problem with Manchester United. We've let far too many players' contracts run down. Obviously, De Gea's in the final year of his deal. It's looking like, De Gea is going to be leaving. Obviously, Rashford's in the final year of his deal. Matta's coming to end of his contract. Obviously, it looks like Juan Mata is going to be leaving the club. But yeah, with the De Gea situation, obviously it came out the other day in the media saying that De Gea has turned down the final contract offer from Manchester United. Reportedly, Man United have been in negotiations now for a long, long time, trying and get David De Gea a new contract term at the club. Reportedly, De Gea was demanding around £350,000 a week, if he was to sign a new contract with Manchester United. But reportedly, Manchester United were not willing to meet his current wage demands, of course. And this is a figure that PSG are reportedly willing to meet, because he has attracted interest from Paris Saint-Germain. PSG are reportedly to put a bid in for him of around £60 million. Obviously would want to cash in for him this summer rather than let him go on a free transfer in the summer in next year. So next year, if we let him go on a free transfer, that would be a calamity indeed. So we'd rather cash in for him this summer. We can get around £60 or £70 million from him at full value. De Gea's worth £100 million at full value for a goalkeeper anywhere, but obviously he's only got a year left on his deal, so we're not going to get £100 million for David De Gea. Obviously we do know that Real Madrid have been long admirers of De Gea, but I don't see Real Madrid currently getting him. De Gea, of course, has been here, 8 years now at Manchester United. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions as De Gea. And, he has been a great servant to the club as De Gea. I don't think now, I think De Gea is going to be leaving anywhere, but he did say PSG were intending on getting him on a free transfer, because obviously in that aspect, it could maybe tempt PSG to offer him a bigger salary. And obviously, PSG have got their eye on their demands, to UEFA's financial fair play, because they have spent big on players in the last couple of seasons of PSG, as you all know, the likes of Mbappe and Neymar. But I do believe that'll be his next destination if he does leave Manchester United, which is looking very, very likely. De Gea, of course, has won everything here domestically. He's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 6 years as De Gea. But yeah, I think he's currently going to be going. But I don't think Man United are intending on buying a goalkeeper, to actually replace David De Gea. This is not an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans. I think we are willing to promote Sergio Romero as our number 1 goalkeeper, for next season when De Gea currently leaves. I don't know if Romero is reliable enough yet, to become our number 1 goalkeeper. I think he did okay in the FA Cup games this season. He did well, actually. But I don't know if at this moment in time if he can become our number 1 goalkeeper. I know we've got the likes of Dean Henderson, but I think Dean Henderson, needs a bit more experience. Obviously, Dean Henderson's been on loan with Sheffield United and all that. Obviously, we've got the likes of Lee Grant as a backup, but I think he should be going, should Lee Grant. So I probably do believe that we need a replacement of De Gea. Obviously, as you all do know, coming out in the media in the last couple of days, there has been talks about, Donnarumma from AC Milan currently going on. Now, Donnarumma reportedly now we've showed an interest in him, to replace David De Gea at the club. Now, Donnarumma is only 20 years of age. Obviously began his senior career with AC Milan. I think he's been in AC Milan senior squad since 2015. Obviously, I think he became the youngest goalkeeper, or one of the youngest goalkeepers, to make his debut in the Serie A at just the age of 16, because obviously that's the age, he currently made his senior debut, for AC Milan. He has got a contract with AC Milan till 2024. He's 20. He's got a hell of a lot of development in him. I think he's a good shot stopper. He's very, very tall as well. I think he's about 6'4", 6'5". Is Donnarumma. I think he's made about 160 odd appearances in all competitions. Kept about 50 odd clean sheets. So he's a pretty decent goalie. He's Donnarumma. But there has been reports suggesting out saying that if AC Milan don't secure Champions League football for next season, then Donnarumma could possibly be available. But it may take a fee around £50 million, to convince AC Milan to let him currently go. So there has been reports going on about that in the last couple of days. Obviously, we do know in recent weeks there has been other goalkeepers mentioned, that could be players De Gea, Andrea Nana from Ajax, John O'Blank from Athletic Madrid got mentioned about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Jordan Pickford has also been mentioned in the past. And but from Solskjaer's preference, he's not intending on buying a goalkeeper to replace David De Gea. But like I said, there's a lot of players linked with a move to Manchester United. Obviously, looking likely, Daniel James is obviously going to be our first signing. Of course, that move's very imminent now. Obviously, based on Daniel James's father, dying, it could delay the move, for a short period of time. Obviously, with his dad passing away, Daniel James had to currently, withdraw from the Wales camp. I think an initial fee has been agreed off. I think it's around £15 million. That has been currently agreed. So that is a reasonable figure, and people have said we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. But yeah, Daniel James, so £15 million has been agreed. I think, personal terms, as you all know, have been agreed. Storage, broke out about this earlier on in the month, saying that Manchester United were closing on a deal, to get, Daniel James on the board. But as I said, it's a surprise solution. It's a low expectation. He is a cheap acquisition. But I think Daniel James is looking forward to coming to the club. He did say from his own perspective his preferred destination is Manchester United, because Brighton came in right at the final hurdle for him. But obviously we do know, basically, his preferred destination is Manchester United. Obviously, Leeds were on the brink of getting him in January. Obviously, Everton, he obviously have inquired about his services, but he's only 21 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But the big question is, has he got the ability? Has he got the minerals, to make it to the highest level? Can he exceed expectation levels in the Premier League? Daniel James, and don't get me wrong, he's demonstrated well this season with Swansea. He's made about 30 odd games. Played 30 odd games or something like that. He can score goals, can Daniel James, but I've got reservations about him, when it comes to his, defensive abilities. When it comes to him in the air, I think he's very, very poor in the air. When it comes to him tracking back as well, but he is a good runner. He's good on the ball. He's fast as well. He can score goals. He can cut him from that flank really, really well. So I hope he can do well for Manchester United. Daniel James, he's only got a year left on his deal with Swansea, as you all know. Solskjaer was asked about, the speculation, linking Daniel James with move to Old Trafford, towards the back end of the season. Obviously, Solskjaer didn't really comment on it, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, obviously, Solskjaer knows that a lot of individuals are linked with a move to Manchester United. So Daniel James will happen. Obviously, the move may delay for a little bit, based on his father passing away. But yeah, he's going to be our first signing. But yeah, very, very low expectation indeed. Primarily plays off the left as well. That's why he's supposed to be more effective, Daniel James. So yeah, it's looking likely he's going to be coming in, which is very, very good. So yeah, guys, and that's, mainly everything to update you on today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.